Okay, so it's Monday, and I was planning on talking about this today because I read something last week from my friend Ashley. She is a blogger, Ray of Sunshine, and she wrote a blog about why bloggers, I mean, pretty much anyone in the creative industry, shouldn't work for free. I'm going to pull it up. Where is it? rayofsunshinelife.com. Why you shouldn't work for free. Anyway, it kind of goes on to explain her background in blogging and what happens a lot of times is with food bloggers specifically is companies will want to send you free product in exchange for review, social posting, etc., etc. Specifically in the vegan world, that kind of happens. A lot of brands say they don't have the budget to pay, or that they want to spread their message authentically without having to pay people to talk about it. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. I know you don't work in the food blogging world, but maybe there's something that this relates to in your industry that you work for. I think in this world we live in now, where a lot of people can make a living through social media. Everyone's sharing all of the time. There's a fine line of like wanting to talk about stuff that you like, but also recognizing that like it's actually worth something, that like you shouldn't just take for granted that like you have access to all of this free content, like recipes and reviews and like, you know, everything. You access it on the internet for free, but the people creating this stuff and the people putting their creativity into it are worth something, and they shouldn't, you know, get taken advantage of, and they shouldn't be working for free. And it's fine if the users get to access it for free, but somewhere along that line, you know, it's hard work and it's creative content that people are putting out there. So I started the blog in 2010 when I was trying to go vegan, and so the early posts actually were me trying to go vegan. So some of them weren't vegan posts at all; they were vegetarian or they had meat in them, and I was kind of talking about my transition and what I was going to do, and really just being like, I don't know how I feel about food, till I eventually did go vegan and it became a vegan food blog, and I did it as a hobby. And at the time, I wasn't even working in television. I had been laid off, and I had about a year and a half where I was doing digital content and like hustling and working in restaurants and kind of being like, what am I going to do with my life? Can I still work in TV? And I thought maybe running a blog would be an option. But I quickly learned I know nothing about how to run a blog, and I don't know how you monetize a blog, and I don't know how you put ads on it, and I don't know how to build it out properly. So I kind of early on was like, this is just going to be a hobby. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to culinary school. Didn't do that. Okay, so that was like how that Hot for Food actually started. And then when I met John, we actually decided to launch it as like a real, like properly branded, fully executed, like pretty good looking blog, which we did. And I was working at Much Music at that time. So I had a job. I had a full-time salary job. It wasn't of any concern to me at that time. This was 2013 to 2014. I wasn't like, I want to make money from this blog. Again, still didn't understand how to monetize it. But because I was Lauren Toyota on Much Music, there was often a lot of, you know, everyone wants to send you product to post on Instagram or whatever. And sometimes that's fine and sometimes that's not, because you feel like you're, you know, what am I getting out of this? A free shirt. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But like, I get how some people out there might be like, well, that's amazing, you should just do that. But at some point, things get to a level where you realize that like you are a business and you are a brand, and for you to endorse things and for you to say that you like things does not come for free. Because if I truly like a product, that's great. And like, sometimes I'll talk about it, but at the same time, like if it's from a company that I know has money, then it's very obvious that people pay for advertising and endorsements and that they have marketing budgets. So it gets into this really sticky territory. But the point of this video is really to talk about what Ashley talked about, and that is respecting yourself and knowing your worth. And I think as women, at least I can say this, and all of my friends can say this, we have a very difficult time doing that. And it makes me frustrated, and I don't want to harp on the problem here, but I will just admit to you that I have a hard time saying no, and I have a hard time knowing my worth. And if I don't know my worth, then why would anybody else? You know, it goes back to that things being a reflection of you manifesting things you either want or don't want. And so if I go around going, well, I'll just do this for free and I'll just say yes to that, that's me disrespecting myself and what I am worth and my business and my skills and my creativity. It's just throwing that all out the window. And so I've been dealing with this a lot, obviously being freelance and obviously not working for a company to represent me anymore. And I think I also got into this mind state a little bit working in TV, working for Much Music, because I wasn't really allowed to make money outside of my job as a host. I had to do things for free because I worked at Much Music. Now you might think that's insane, but that's the way the company runs. Or it did at the time I worked there. And since I'm a rule follower, which does not work to my advantage, I didn't take advantage of the system, and I didn't go around and figure out ways to make money on the side or get people to pay me to do stuff. I actually just followed the rules, and I did a lot of stuff for free. But a lot of the requests would come through Much Music. Like, we need Lauren to host this event, we needed it, and they wouldn't allow us to get paid outside of what we do as a job. It was part of the job. And I think that's a really skewed, effed up way of running the business and making your talent feel like not talent. But anyway, so I've dealt with this issue a lot, and I think what I'm trying to say is that experience at Much Music probably screwed me over a little bit in my mind to think that, like, well, this is just part of the job, I have I have a good reputation and I have an image to maintain, so I better do stuff for free so that I look good, or that I make people feel good, like if it's charity stuff or whatever. And like some of that is fine, but like all of the time, no, because nobody can afford to work for free 80% of the time. And you should know that too, no matter what industry you're working in. I do tell students, you're probably going to have to work for free for a little bit, like interning and working in the summer, working a job and doing an internship for free, but like that shouldn't continue on and on for the rest of your life. I think I'm just looking maybe if you guys have any advice, and also this idea of like working on myself and working on like self-care and self-work to know that I'm worth something. It's hard. I mean, this goes into like emotional stuff but I think also for women, it's like years and decades, if not centuries, of that kind of behavior of women being made to feel second rate, women being the caregivers and the nurturers and the mothers, and like all of that, you just give and give and give, and you give it for free. There's no monetary value, and because we've built up monetary value and financial compensation to be like our means of life, we've put a lot of importance on that, but it's also like how we kind of have to live. And there's just a whole tornado of things that are swirling through my mind when I read this. But it's tough in these creative industries because, like let's say it's photography. One photographer could charge $100 a photo and another photographer can charge $5,000 a photo. And it's like there's no standards, okay? But like you have to be able to negotiate on behalf of yourself. But you also, by you negotiating what you are truly worth and kind of doing some research in terms of like some kind of industry standards, you're setting the bar for everyone else that does what you do. And by you going, I'm going to do this for free and I'm going to do this for free, you're devaluing the entire craft. Because then everyone will think, well, it's no big deal to take photos and anyone can do it, and we'll just take your photos and this and that. And I'm sure anyone who works in any field understands what I'm trying to say. So you can't do it for free. You can't give away your creations and your hard work for free. I was going to read something from Ashley's blog. This is a good part. Ashley said, it took me a long time to believe, yes, of course I'm worth more than this, because you see food blog readers and food blog writers in the world of food blogging. It's expected that you advertise for free when you first start out and build your readership, but when does the starting out phase end? How many followers do you need before your time, efforts, and creativity are worth more than a sample pack of protein powder? I still have no idea what the correct answer is to that question. But at some point earlier this year, I decided I wouldn't work for free anymore. I don't know what the answer to that question is either, but I was having a conversation in the car with John the other day where he said, after he finished this one big, huge project that he had done for free, he was like, I am not working for free anymore. And ever since that day, he hasn't. And I haven't said that. And I haven't said that because I don't even want to say that I can't say it, but I've been having issues saying that because I have this guilt. As soon as I say, I won't work for free anymore, then this guilt feeling wells over me of like, oh, but what if it's a charity thing, or what if it's a school thing, or what if it's whatever it is. And it's like, I just have to say, I will not work for free anymore. And mind you, I have made huge improvements because I have put in place certain things and people to negotiate on my behalf, which I should have had a long time ago, but I hate negotiating and I hate talking about money, which is another fear that I need to overcome, because if I don't even like talking about money, then why would I talk about money? Why would anyone else want to talk about money with me? So I have a speaking agent, and I have now Kin Community who works with us in partnership to negotiate brand partnerships and the money side of things, etc., etc. But still, a lot of stuff does not fall into both of those two categories where I can just push it off to someone else. I still have to deal with certain things, and I'm not very good at it. But as Abraham would say, I need to say, I am good at negotiating. I know my worth. And I literally just have to reaffirm all these things over and over again. But I would like to just say, maybe right now, since I'm right here on camera and I'm dealing with this and I don't want to talk about the problem anymore, I just wanted to bring it up because I'm sure there are people out there who relate to this, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. All I want to say is that starting right now, right here, I am not working for free anymore. I have declared it. I have said it. I am done with it. I am almost 33 years old, people, and to do things for free is insanity. Especially with the experience that I have, the immense creativity that I have, and all that I have to give. It is not for free. It is not. It's for sale. It's for sale. You can buy it, okay? Not you here on YouTube, because I like you and we're doing this as a sharing, self-improvement exercise, but you get what I'm saying. See, even going back on all my words, I can't just say something and say it flat. I have to be like, oh, but. No, I'm not working for free anymore. That's it. Okay, that's all I have to say. If you have any comments or questions or things you'd like to leave in the comments below, please do so, and I will answer you, because I always do. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I'm not sure what I'm posting yet, but you should come back and check it out. Okay, bye. I'm not working for free anymore. I am worth more. And we're just going to repeat that over and over again. I have a lot to offer people, and they should pay for that. Keep doing it with me, people.